Not everybody's married.
All right, we are here with Relationship Talk Tuesdays. Welcome, ladies. How are we doing tonight? I hope everyone is doing well. So, today we have another hot topic, but first, let's introduce our co host, Kiana.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
What's up, girl?
Hey,
How you doing?
good. How you doing?
Like Wanda said, how you doing?
How you doing?
So, today we're going to talk about don't assume with a man. And
Wow.
this is a broad topic. First of all, like you can assume a lot of things, right?
Yes.
Assume that he wanted that piece of that meal, or he
Yeah.
wanted that outfit, or he wanted
Yeah.
um to go come with me to the store. We can assume all kinds of stuff, but I think we're gonna focus more on assuming that he wants to marry you,
Oh,
or
yes.
assuming that he wants to be with you for a very long time, or just let's just stick with he wants to marry you. Assuming that he wants a long-term relationship with you in that way. So,
Right.
I'll go and start with this story. So there was someone that my husband knew,
Hmm.
um, and she knew him for a while, but she wanted to be married so bad because she was envious of what he had
Hmm.
have. So, and that's could be a lot of people's stories, where you
Right.
have something good going on, and you see somebody else that is your friend, close friend, baby mama, whoever, and they want that too. And you know what? It's nothing wrong wanting that,
Right.
but what happens where the part that is wrong is when they start envying and getting
Yeah.
jealous and wanting to um, do harm, or wanting to
Right.
just kick up dirt, try to do things in a malicious way with you.
Right.
That's wrong. That's when you're going after it the wrong way, especially when you put this um, in the biblical way. You want God's will to be done. First of all,
Right.
you don't want to do your own will, to want something so bad that it end up failing you, and it end up discouraging you, and then it end up trapping you in, and then all these things. And so um, that was her story, where she wanted it so bad. She wanted to be married so bad that she found out that not even a year in the marriage, he cheated on her. And so that shows that she didn't pick the right. We know, okay, obviously you didn't pick the right person.
Right.
Second of all, the second thing is you didn't think this all the way through,
Right.
because there's no matter what we see in good of a man or what we want, there's always red flags ahead of time. There's always a warning before a fall, right?
Right.
Pride comes before the fall. So, what did you not look, or what did you look over?
Right.
Basically, what did you ignore for it to come to this, right? And so, what would you say from that story and that result? What are some things that women fail to do or miss?
Right. Um, I think it's okay to desire to be married and everything like that. But when it comes unhealthy, when you envy somebody else's relationship or what they have going on, then it becomes very unhealthy and toxic because I don't feel that you're doing it for the right reason. If you step back and you pray about a situation, God will show you everything that you need to know about a certain situation. And sometimes we get envies and want something so bad that we'll do anything to get it. Then when we get it, we find out other things that it was almost like, it was just like you filling out that little application, and they say put your weight on there on the ID application, and you put down 80 pounds small. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not he's not he gave you the outer appearance. He gave you the flowers and the whining and dining, and he gave you all them things that you were looking for, because you may have seen, like in your guys situation, she may have seen her friend, which was your husband, and you guys situation, and said, I really want that. That's something that I desire, and that's what I want out of a significant other. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But she found whoever the situation was, because obviously she didn't give it time for God to send it
Right.
to her. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She suck it out, and she found that situation, and she got with that particular person, and he ended up doing a devastating thing, and that's to cheat on somebody. You know what I mean? I'm a strong believer. If you don't want to be with me, just don't be with me. You ain't
Right.
got to cheat on me. You know what I mean? It's really hurtful. I believe that she desired something so bad that it became unhealthy and toxic,
Hmm.
because it was just the wrong way to go about it, and then you end up being hurt, and you're not happy, you know.
Right. So yeah, you don't want to come off so insecure or so
Yeah,
desperate. I don't think
yeah,
a man appreciates or want a woman that is desperate um,
yeah,
for them, or wanting to, feeling like you need to beg for
right,
their allegiance, basically, for their loyalty, for their hand in marriage. Um, it's a lot of things you're covering up when you do that.
yeah,
It's a selfish move. We know that much because it's all
yeah,
about me. And I don't think we put that into play when it comes to somebody wanting something so badly, like being married. We see the other things like, oh,
right,
they're hurt and they're tired of being single, and oh, this and that. But we're not seeing you being selfish,
right. But
because
see,
you're just making it about you. You're not even caring what he wants. You're not
exactly,
even seeing what he got to say about it. Is this what
but
he wants to be? Does
exactly,
he want this marriage?
exactly. But what's so crazy, Char, is that when people think like that, they I think that sometimes people, especially people that's never been married before, they feel like marriage is the magic wand. It
Right.
believe me, baby, if you suffered with depression, if you suffered with certain things before you got married, you will end the marriage. Don't
Hmm.
think that you being married is gonna be a quick fix to your happiness inside your heart. It's
Right.
not. Got some married folks that they feel like they single at home. You see what I'm saying?
You better
So
say it.
I believe that it's and this is from people that haven't been married before. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? They feel like, I'm a prime example. I'm just gonna put myself out there. I love to do that. I was like, I'm not gonna go through depression no more. My husband gonna take all the pain away and got it.
Right. Oh
And
my
I
goodness.
and like, but it's still there, God. But
Mm,
you see what I'm saying? I, I really think that folks need to probably sit down with a whole bunch of married folks first
yeah.
of all,
Yeah.
and realize that, hey, it's not always glimpse and glam. You see what I'm
No.
saying? Guys love each other. You guys took vows, and you guys go back to that place. You know what I'm saying? On my table, it's a big picture of me and my husband. And he even said it yesterday. He was like, "Man, I really like that picture." So on them days, it's not so good days. You look at things like that, and you be like, "Man, I love this person. Hey,
Yeah.
we gonna work this little bump in the road out." I just believe that people, they want it so bad, they really don't see and understand the other part of it besides the glimpse and the glam. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah. So love.
yeah,
Basically, you're saying, and which I know this to be true.
yeah.
A lot of stuff, love ain't got nothing to do with it.
Right? Come on
But
now.
at the end of the day, love is
Yeah.
supposed to bring you back. It
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
brings you back together to make
Right.
it work, because
Yeah.
we know from what the word says, love is stronger than death.
Yeah.
So love is powerful. It means so much,
Yeah.
and it can withstand the test of time. And so,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
true love, and putting Christ first. You can stand the test of time. You
Hmm.
can. I mean, because without having Christ in your marriage is obviously doomed. You know,
Yeah.
you need Him
Yes.
every single day to keep you
Amen.
going, to keep keep your eyes only for your spouse, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
everything, and it's crazy, but it's so true. Like when it's so crazy, I had new glasses on, you know what I'm saying, that things that interest me before, or me double taking before, I just stopped doing it. Ain't that, it's just amazing what God to do to you. Like you don't desire them things no more. You know what I mean? You be like, I love what I got. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I God, and I appreciate who He have made for me and me alone.
Right.
I just really think that when people like that situation, when they desire something so bad,
Hmm.
and you have every right to desire something so
Hmm.
bad, but
Hmm.
when it comes unhealthy, that's
Right.
where the problem lies in. You
Right.
have to allow God to lead it. When you
Hmm.
you will find just about anything. And if that other person know you so desperately want to be with them or want to be in this marriage, they know they can get away with everything. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
Or
Oh yeah.
however they want to treat you, or whatever they choose to do. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Because you want this so bad, you don't want to go tell your girlfriends that y'all might get a divorce. You see what I'm saying? Because you done made this big persona that
Hmm.
he this way, when you really found out he got some skeletons. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
some things that he dealing with, that cheating spirit, that lying spirit. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff that he really dealing with. So when you envies your friend situation and it becomes toxic and unhealthy, that's not good.
No, it's not, because it's showing your flaws, and it's
Yeah,
showing that your character is not where it should be, because you can't make the right decision for yourself. So yeah,
right,
giving it to God, putting God first with who, because He already knows who you're supposed to be with and who He has
yeah,
for you. It's the perfect match. It's the perfect puzzle. It fits
right,
perfectly. Can't nobody do better. You can't do
right,
better. And that's where we fall short. Is that we think we can do better than God. We think we could pick better and have better, and we don't even know the half of it. We don't even have the half of it, because
right.
He has all the potential and everything that we could have if we align ourselves right with Him. So it
Right,
shows that we don't know everything, and it shows that
right,
what we think is right don't be
right,
right, and what we assume is right don't be right. And so,
right.
and we all know that a wandering eye, if a
Yeah,
man has a wandering eye
yes,
prior to you getting serious, or prior
right,
to you even considering marriage, then what does that tell you? You can't, like they say, like a man say, you can't turn a I'm just go ahead and say it. You can't
right,
turn a hoe.
right.
You can't turn a hoe to a housewife. Like that's what they
And
say, right? So
I
you
it is,
vice versa. You can't turn,
yeah,
because men are, they consider men as hoes too, right? So
right. Yeah, if
you
you ever
can't
be
turn
a
him
dog,
into a
he,
husband.
yeah, yeah. If
So
he a
what do you
dog,
expect?
so, right, he gonna do it. Yep, you got to be careful, because this it's a lot of situations and a lot of similarities to your husband and his friend. It's a lot of them domino effect similarities out there. You want what your friend got. You want what it's okay to desire it, but when it comes unhealthy, if you just sit back, if you just sit back and let God lead, God will do it.
Right.
Even in my situation, I was like, I just want to get my kids grown, and I'm just gonna put on a backpack, and I'm just gonna travel. I'm just gonna get on the next Greyhound. That was my mindset. You know what I'm saying? I was on some whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that whole situation, how it all began from start to finish, was nothing but God. I had
Hmm.
no intentions, didn't even think about it no more, because I was so used to being the third wheel. The third wheel, I had associates that we'd go out to eat and stuff like that. They was married. and it was me. So it was they was two coupled up, and it was four of them, husband and wife. Then it was me. And
Oh,
I
wow. That's a like a double a double third wheel, right?
I was
Two
girl,
couples.
it was crazy. I was the side friend for a long time in the relationship, out to eat and stuff. They always wanted me to roll with them. They just, I don't know, just liked in my vibe, I guess.
So
You
with
know,
that,
point where it didn't even bother me no more.
right, and that's what I wanted to ask you. Since
Yeah,
at a point it didn't bother you no more, but before it stopped bothering you, did you get to a point where you wanted it badly, or you envied
right.
what they had,
No,
or
it
any
did.
of that?
Girl, it didn't even bother me. At first, I used to make jokes and stuff because I'm kind of a jokester. I used to make jokes and stuff like, hey, why y'all ain't bring none of y'all homeboys with you? You know what I'm saying? I used to say stuff like that or whatever like that. They be like, man, Kiki, you gotta have the perfect, the good guy. The guys we roll with ain't like that. But yeah, so it didn't because it went on. I ain't talking about like a month here and there. I'm talking about years.
So it was years like that, you being a third wheel.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes, I did. And I guess it didn't, I don't even think it bothered me when it first started, girl. I guess
Yeah.
I just completely tuned that out. I just completely like, hey, this is just how I'm gonna be forever. In my
Oh, so
mind.
you wasn't even looking. You didn't want. So you didn't really want to get married or care to get married.
Oh, of course. Of course I had the desire to get married and have more kids and stuff like that. But after for so long that it didn't happen, I kind of blocked that part out
No.
of my mind. You
Did you get
saying?
numb to it?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I think it got to the point where it didn't even bother me no more. I was just on some like I'm gonna get my kids grown and just do me. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's
Right.
that's what I was on, and it didn't bother me no more. I didn't know that it didn't bother me until it happened for me. I was like, wow. So I still can't. So God, you didn't forget about me. You know?
Right. And so
Yeah.
at that during that time, were you leaving it up to God and already
Yeah.
expecting Him
Yeah.
to send you your husband?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yes.
that's good. That's how you do it.
I said, God, I said, whatever you have for me is for me.
Right.
Ain't no worm, can't no devil in hell tarnish it,
Oh
can't
no.
nothing. I just assumed
Mm-hmm.
that you still got it in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
It's still marinating. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
ready to be put out the oven yet. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I just assumed. And that's what I just kept on thinking every day. So I was not bitter or nothing when I went out with these group of people and stuff like that. I was ready. What time, girl? What restaurant we going to today? That's what I was on. You know what I'm saying? It did not phase me with the little side jokes that would be done at the table about me. You know
So
what
it
I'm
don't
saying?
matter where y'all went. Like it wasn't just restaurants. It was
No, no.
movies
Back in
or
the
hanging out.
girl, I was still going to the little juke joints. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
always went to the juke joints. I was the youngest in the crowd. These women are way older than me. I've kind of always associated with older women. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? I
Mm-hmm.
was getting in, I was getting in joints that's supposed to be in like 30 and up places. I was with
Okay.
them, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't. And I just thank God that it did. I just so when it did happen for me, I didn't realize how happy that I was that it happened for me. Because I was the third, the fourth, the fifth wheel for,
I had
for
to think about it. Wait a minute.
me. And then I had another couple of friends. They didn't really like to go out a lot. They like to have a lot of things at their house. So
Okay.
imagine if I got with them. So I would have been like, it would have been three couples and then me. If we was all going out to stuff. They didn't go out to the restaurants a lot with us. They mostly had like little things at home. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So but I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you shared this because it showed that you waited on God and it showed that you
Yes,
trusted him to provide that man for you that you desire. And I
yes.
bet that man was everything you wanted.
Yes, and let me tell you this for young ladies or ladies that's waiting on God. Is the wait easy? No, it's not. Is it hard? Yes, it is. At times, is it more harder than others? Yes, it is. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, if you would stand the test of time, if
Mm-hmm.
you will wait out your season, I
Right.
everything that you wrote on that piece of paper, everything in your prayer room, everything that you desired that man to be, he will be that plus more. If
Mm-hmm.
you will wait, the waiting process is the hardest
Right.
process. It's the
Right.
hard. If you can get over the waiting process, baby, you done made it. You
Right.
done only God how long
And
the
he
wait
will
will be.
strengthen you because
Yeah,
those that wait upon the Lord will he will renew your strength. So he will strengthen you. Why
yeah,
God is just so amazing. Thank
yeah.
you.
In the wait, and
In
that's
the waiting process, he'll renew your strength while he is preparing that person for you.
exactly. Exactly. What you just said, First Lady Sharon, I know you probably felt the spirit on that note, but
Mhm.
what you just said was when you was like, it didn't really bother you. I
Right.
think that's that the strength came in at
Yeah.
because I'm
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then when the little waitress come around talking about who my ticket gonna be on, I'm like, I got my ticket. My husband ain't here yet. That was all God. It was no
Right.
my right hand of Jesus. I was like, where's we eating at? Where we go eat? You know what I'm saying? Tell your husband to come on. You know, and
Right.
so that was nothing but God. It was nothing but love that to them. It was nothing but love. It was never no bitterness. It was never no like I ain't got nobody to roll with me.
Yeah.
It was but God with what you just said, and He will renew your strength. He
Yes, he
will,
will.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome because it reminds me of that post because I'm a part of the marriage club. I don't know if you're part of marriage club on
Right.
Facebook.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
somebody put a while ago, and I've seen it before, where it says, "Please pray for my husband. He has trouble finding me."
Hmm.
So you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right? Yeah, he has
Exactly.
trouble
Exactly.
finding me. That means I'm waiting on him.
Yes.
I want to be
Yes.
married, so pray that he comes and find me. So
Right.
I love that post because it's like I'm praying that he finds me. A
Yeah.
man finds a wife finds a good thing.
And it,
It's not we shouldn't be out looking as women. We
right.
should be
No.
out looking for our husband. Um,
No.
that's God sends that person. So yeah, this was wonderful. I really love that we were able to talk about this. Don't
Yeah.
assume with the man.
Yeah. Yes. Good topic.
Let's go into the marriage for a little bit because we talked about
Okay.
wanting to get married. Not,
Right.
don't assume that he wants to marry you and that you know what you're doing with picking a man. But let's go into the marriage where don't assume that um y'all got all your stuff together. Like,
Right.
you got all your stuff together, meaning you know how to um do your finances right, or you know how to clean how he wants, cook how he wants, serving him. Like, don't
Mm-hmm.
assume that you don't have to do that. Don't assume that you don't
Right.
have to serve your husband. Don't assume that you know what you're doing. Let's
Right.
just be real, and it's not to step on anybody's toes, but it's just explaining that both of y'all coming to the table with flaws
Yeah.
that you're gonna learn together. You're gonna learn each other flaws. You're gonna learn what you
Right.
don't like, what you do like, what you prefer, what he prefers, all that. So you're coming together to sort all that out. And um, don't assume that he like. I want to talk about the serving part because I was watching something else about the serving and how a woman needs to be okay with serving a man. Like, how do you
Mm-hmm.
feel about that? Because I know, as a wife, I serve him with making sure I'm cleaning up, making sure that I'm considering him when I'm out in the store or
Right.
shopping, whatever. You're considering buying him something if you see something he likes, or
Right.
you're serving him where you're physically bringing his plate to
Right.
him. So, that's part of being a good wife and serving
Right.
to the Lord too, because, it's the Lord, him, and then you. So
Right.
submitting yourselves. And we
Yeah,
talked about submission
yeah,
already
I-
with that video. How you
right.
feel about serving?
I think that it's very important. I think that I just put myself out there. I think sometimes it's not that I get forgetful. It's just sometimes I may do things at the wrong time. Like I may just got in from work and took out whatever, you know how you get situated when you get in from work before you go take your shower. That I take a shower when I probably know that he's gonna be home in about 15 minutes. I should have already did, like, whatever, putting the food on the plate. It can be already cooked on the stove. And then I just ain't put it on the plate just quite yet because everybody unwinds differently. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? My
Right.
takes a shower, he go pray and everything like that. So I figure the food might be cold by the time he eat it. So it's just that's just my thing. But I think serving is very important. I know when my kids were home and stuff like that, and I cooked, I always made my husband plate first, even
Hmm.
though he wasn't even home yet from work. But I put it to the side because our husband he doesn't really like when people pick over the food. You know what I mean? He
Hmm.
like so I still will make his plate even though he ain't at home, and I just put something on top of it, put it in the oven, and then
Hmm.
I tell my kids whatever because he's a little guy, so he'll eat that one plate and he okay, or I'll put him some in the cupboard to take for lunch too. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so even though he ain't at home, I always still think about making sure that he has his plate first. You know what I'm
And that's
saying?
the consideration part
Yeah.
that we're talking about, considering in everything, and
Yeah.
no matter what you're doing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's very important because um it's as a level of respect and honor, you know. You
Right.
honor your husband by making sure and say for instance if your significant other is one of the ones that like a clean house and different stuff, you know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
make sure all that stuff is did because you just know that kind of makes them happy. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
In some marriages, the husband might cook more than the wife. Tables have
Hmm.
turned a lot in
Hmm.
situations. So you guys just do what makes you guys happy and what makes each other happy and what flows. Like you said something about the finances situation. I wasn't too good on that. I
Yeah.
was not
Me
too good
neither.
on
Yeah.
so my husband is very good on that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
To the T. So that's an area that he takes care of, and that's the area that he handles because he's better on that part than I am. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, and
I
respecting that too, respecting each other's not only roles, but
Yeah,
what what they're good at. Just like
mm,
a job, like they put you
yeah,
where you're good at. So let's
right,
same thing in a marriage. Like if you're good at that, you take control of that.
right. Right. And that's so true. And it all comes together and it just works out together, and that's what makes a marriage, it just working together and on the same accord and honoring your
Right.
husband, wife. I think that goes, that brings it back to them long lasting marriages, the marriages when your parents was married or when your
Right.
grandparents been married 40 years, 45
Hmm.
years. That
Hmm.
goes back to them long. You be like, dog, how did you make it? What do you mean? We made it work. We
You
made
made
it
it
work.
work, right? You kept your
Yeah.
eyes off of other people. You
Yes.
made sure that you know, leave, go on dates, dating each other, keeping things flowing, making things spark, and
Right.
work. Yeah, make it work. Don't keep it. Don't let it die just
Don't
because of
let it
what you
die.
disagree with or what you didn't like. No, you work through that and you communicate.
Yes. And that's true. And don't lose yourself.
Right, exactly.
Don't if you love poetry, if you love painting, if you love this and that, and you need to continue to do things that you love to do. Don't lose yourself. Don't a lot of times when people get married and then they have kids and stuff like that, they kind of lose they self. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
You kind of It's routine. You drop the kids off, you come back home, you take a shower, then you go to work, then you pick up the kids. You have
Hmm.
to remember this is with man or a woman. You
Right.
have to you have to give yourself some self love.
Right.
You
Self love, self care is so important.
If you're not happy and if you're not all the way together, then the family is not going to be all the way together
Right.
because you're of the family. And so if you start trickling down and start slacking off and start, you know what I'm saying, it trickles down to the kids, to the animals, it trickles down to everybody in the household. So you have to
Yeah.
remember, you got to take that Monday morning, if that's your late day to going to work, you got to go do something to make you happy. If it's going to the hair salon, if it's going to work out, if it's going to go pick out a good book, or a nice outfit, whatever makes you happy, you have to remember that in a marriage, you have to continue to add that, or don't lose yourself in it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Add that. It's important because it helps you to keep your mindset healthy. You know what I'm saying? And you're still happy because you're still doing something that you love to do.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Because when you don't, that leaves room for
Yeah.
infidelity and
Yes.
for someone else to step in, and now there's a divide, and then now you're
Yes.
sorry. You're
Yes.
sorry about everything because you blame yourself and it's all your fault, and
Right.
messed up your kids' mind, and now they
Yes.
resent you, and
Right.
it's just a horrible mess that you create, all because
Right.
you did not keep yourself. You did not
Yes.
make sure you love you by taking
Right.
care of you. And
Love
so,
you. And it's
right, love
okay
you.
to love you. And it took me a long time, Shar, to realize that.
Mhm.
I think we talked about this before. I lost myself in my kids, like, soccer, this and that, this and that. I drowned in myself, and because I love doing poetry, and writing poetry and performing
Yeah.
it. And I didn't do it for a very long time because I was like, forget it. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
ain't no, you know. But I did, and I
Yeah,
think it's
that's good, and I'm glad that you brought this up. I'm so
yeah,
glad you brought that up because that is one of the important things to consider in a marriage, in a relationship, because and that also leaves room for people to dominate the
yeah,
relationship, meaning
mm,
domestic violence and thinking they
yes,
put their hands on you and control
yeah,
you because you
yeah,
don't have no self standards, no worth about you, and that's
right,
all from losing yourself. That's all from
yeah,
not loving you, and so yeah, is that is vital to have in a relationship. So
yeah.
um,
So,
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll end
uh,
here. Um, I love this topic. Don't assume with the man. Of course, we can go on and on about um,
amen.
what that means. But I think we shared a nice chunk about that so far about marriage and yeah. So thank you, ladies, for tuning in. For the
Amen.
ones who have viewed this, I hope this helped you. I hope this enlightened you, inspired you. Hope you share it with someone else if you can. If
Right.
you have any other suggestions, like questions or topics or something you want us to
Yeah.
talk about, please let us know, and we will
Yes.
most definitely talk about that. So
Right.
until next time, we will see you right here on
Amen.
Relationship Talk um, with my co-host Kiana. All right,
Yeah.
I see y'all, and you have a wonderful night. Bye.